Okay, guys, welcome back to Rustic Revolution. And today we are, excuse me, we are currently in the process of planing down, milling down our boards to make our rails and stiles out of. And I want to show you something that I've learned just from watching, everybody else. So I'm redoing, I built the cabinet door before. I made videos on it. Well, I didn't do those the way I should have, especially the two smaller ones. So the wood actually shrunk on the panel itself and created gaps in between the panels. And I'll have to show you that at a later date. I mean, everybody screws up. It is what it is. Also, didn't let that wood acclimate to the inside temperature of the house. So all this wood has actually been sitting inside the house for, I don't know, a couple of months now because I've been gone. And so I don't have a joiner. So I want to show you guys a little trick here that I've learned. So I made a planer sled out of melamine, whatever you want to call it. And so I got me a glue gun, hot glue gun, and I found where the board has a bow to it, and I put some hot glue here, and then here, and then this thing fell over, so give me a minute here. And then I push it down here and let it, cure for a minute. And then where the gap sticks up on this side of the board here, I squirt a bunch of hot glue up underneath there, and then I'll put it along the sides here in a couple spots. That way I know for sure it ain't going nowhere. And that'll keep the board, it'll cock it up where it's going to be at. That way when you run it through the planer, it gives you a flat face to go off of. You run it through there a couple times, take it off, and then you take a sharp tool, and then I pop it off of here, scrape all the glue off of here, flip it over, run it back through the planer so I have a flat side on the other side as well. And then obviously this one's still got bark on it and stuff in some spots. So once I do that and I plane this side, then I'll flip it back over and hit this side a bunch of times till I get down to the thickness measurement that I'm looking for my rails and stiles, which would be a 1 inch. And then we will go through, I'll show you the process of grooving, making the panels, this and that, the other. It's a long process. And I've already got one door put together, but I have to sand it and finish it and all that stuff. We'll get to that later. But for now, we will get to the planing part. As you see, I ran it through the planer, and now we have a smooth, flat, even surface to work off of. So, also, you always want to make sure you have dust collection hooked up somehow. It don't really collect all of it, but a lot of the this thicker stuff here, but it collects all the fine dust particles and so on and so forth. I'm just working out of a single car garage right now. I mean, I have a shop in the backyard, but it needs a little bit more work, and I just don't have time to deal with it right now. And I like working to where I'm close to the house. That way I can go inside, so I ain't got to go out in the backyard, come back inside, so on and so forth, to go out there and take measurements and so on and so forth. But so now I'll show you the process of taking the board off and how I get it off with the little shaving knife. Okay, so now we're gonna pop this off. And the good thing I like about this melamine is hot glue doesn't stick to it. So you see, I mean, some of it sticks, but it easily comes off. So you can just take your little knife here, comes right off. That way your sled's always clean. I learned a lot of these different tricks from, I mean, like anybody else. If you don't know something, go to YouTube University. So we'll set the sled off to the side for a minute. Now we will take and get this little bit of glue off here. You don't want to put this board back through your planer with this glue on here, as it will gum up your planer blades, and you don't want that. So just scrape it off here. I mean, if you take a little bit of wood off, it's okay. You're going to plane it anyway. Just make sure you get the glue off of here real good here. It's a little bit harder to get it off this wood than it is the actual sled. Make sure you don't put your hand in the way, because you will mess yourself up pretty good. We also finally signed the contract for our new windows to be installed on the house. Okay, so now we still have some live edge on here, but this is a flat surface right here. I know you can't really see my head, but I don't have a professional camera just yet, but I will here before too long. But now we're going to run the planer on this side down to be able to plane this side right here, and then we'll get a couple passes through here, and then we'll flip it over and start planing this side down to our dimensions, close to our dimensions, before we put it on the finishing aspect, where it runs through the planer a little bit slower. And you see I got a little snipe right here, which we'll take that off too. Now we're going to be doing grooving and floating panels on the inside of the frame with an 1/8 inch gap all the way around the inside of the panel to allow for expansion and contraction of the wood for humid climates and wherever the temperature changes between summer and winter, and fall and so on and so forth. I don't ever really live in Florida, and I absolutely hate it. It's miserable down here during the summertime. But in the wintertime, I don't think I ever turn the heater on, because I love it cold anyway. But, like this door here turned out beautiful. I mean, it's still got a little bit of a warp to it, but, so we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time. And then I have to do the bottom. I'm going to be building new drawers. I'm going to be doing like we did before on one of our videos and taking everything off, sanding everything. I mean, I still got to do the interior of the cabinets. I'm not real sure on what to do with that yet, but we're also going to be pulling these countertops out and putting in some butcher block and stuff, which that'll probably be around January-ish when we do something like that, or we may just build our own countertops. So there's a lot of work involved in that, and whatever you think I should do as far as painting the inside of these cabinets, I almost thought about just taking all the cabinets out and building new cabinets and putting them up the way I wanted them. But since we're this far along, I'm just going to go ahead and paint the inside of the cabinets. You guys let me know in the comments on what I should do on the inside of these cabinets as far as paint wise, whether I should paint it the same color as I painted here, or paint it back white, or whatever you think. Let me know, and we will go from there and we will figure it out. So this door here is one that I built yesterday. Obviously we planed the wood down to size, okay, and then we did the panels and glued them up. You got to let them sit 24 hours before you can majorly move them or stress the joints. I did put biscuits in these to give it a little bit of extra strength to hold it together. And then these are grooved, so the panel fits inside pretty snugly, but still has enough room to where it can expand and contract, but doesn't shake around in there real bad. You know what I mean? So I still have to do the hinges, and I still have to route the edges and sand all this real good, and then do the finish on it, and so on and so forth. But we will get to that later on. Right now, I got a lot more doors to build, so it's going to be real time consuming. That's one of the things that sucks about this sometimes, is I love doing this, but it is very, very time consuming. Okay, so I was originally going to put the bead on the inside like I did these here, but I don't have the bit to do that. So I like it like this too, so I'm gonna leave it like this, and then we're just gonna take maybe an 1/8 inch or a 3/16 round over bit and kind of knock some of these edges off, these sharp edges off the outside, and then we'll call it a day. Once we're gonna tongue oil it and then seal it with sealer and all that good stuff, and then over time it will darken up and it'll look beautiful. The one thing I can tell you guys is once we get to doing the panel part, I will show you about the wood grain. Okay, when you look at the end of a board and you see the wood grain, it either goes smiley face or happy face. So when you're doing the panels, you want to alternate that. If not, it will all warp up one way or the other. You don't want to do that. So if you alternate smiley face or sad face, smiley face, so on and so forth between your boards, they will even themselves out. That way your door doesn't warp one way or the other. And then I can tell you another thing. I've been working on this house. I grew up in this house, and I'm turning it into an Airbnb in the future. And so far, there has not been one piece of, there ain't been one thing on this property that's been untouched yet. And we still have a good ways to go. But as you know, I work out of town on the road, so I'm gone for long periods of time. But in the spare time, this is what we do. And I'd love to do this full time. I'd love to be able to do this full time for you guys. And so don't forget, hit that bell for notifications, like and subscribe to the channel, and we will post as much as we can. I do plan on getting a new GoPro camera system to be able to do better videos and do all the editing and stuff on my laptop and things like that. The shop's a mess right now. It was clean, but I acquired some new tools and stuff that I've been playing with, and I do want to eventually, what we're going to do is make a video, because right now I'm having to get done with this, pick it up, which is about 230 pounds, pick it up, set it on the ground, or shove it out the way to be able to put my router table up here, and and having to shift things around to where I can move around. So we're going to end up building some roll around stands for everything with locking wheels, so I can be done with one, shove it off to the side somewhere, and eventually we'll get the garage cleaned up to where we're in good shape. But the windows in the entire house will be installed about a week or so before Christmas, and we're kind of waiting until we get that done. And then we'll also be doing putting the building our trimming out our windows and this and that, the other. Once that gets done, I can't wait for that. That's gonna set it off in here. But I mean, well, here and inside the house. But we have a lot of projects. You guys keep up, keep in touch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment. I don't care if it's negative, positive, whatever. It does not bother me. But I got a lot more planning to do, and I don't want to, make a long video on, just planing a bunch of boards or whatever, But we will get to that, and once I get to the making the panels part, we will go from there. You guys stay in touch. Stay tuned.